Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is the 20th of October, 2019. We have a great show for you today. There's stuff going on in Spain with Catalonia.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for them.
And I've got a video here of, here you have the Catalonian pro-independence flag being held up during the Hong Kong protest. Yeah. So this is a worldwide pro-independence movement.
Exactly.
And
it's
so
kind of really
really
exciting.
And Michelle, you could even change your title to that and get Extinction Rebellion out of there if you want to.
Okay.
But we're, Spain and Hong Kong independence movement. I don't know. But I am really excited about this. Here you have some peaceful protesters in Hong Kong. This week we saw a lot of Free Hong Kong, Pro Hong Kong T-shirts being worn in the at the NBA games, and a lot of people dressing up as Winnie the Pooh because they know that Xi Jinping literally banned Winnie the Pooh because people were calling him and saying he looked like Winnie the Pooh.
But he kind of does.
They banned Winnie the Pooh, so there's Winnie the Pooh costumes going around.
Yeah, there's some bad memes about that going around too.
Well, well, then sometimes some people are stupid. But
so don't Google them.
You want to start off with the hats?
Yeah, we're gonna do. Okay, so we did not open this box. Now it took a lot of doing on my part to make sure that Leah did not get the hats out of the box.
I did not.
She did not.
So wait, tell them. Some people might not have been here Friday.
Okay, so on Friday's show, I had to go up stairs to get a chew for the dogs, and I noticed there was a box sitting outside of our door. And so I opened it to see what it was, whether it was a package for us, because it said Royal Mail. And I thought, well, if it's for a mail call, maybe I'll take it downstairs and we'll open it for a mail call. But then when I realized what it was, I was like, we are going to wait and do this thing on Sunday. So let me make sure I have the chat here, because I want to be able to see your reactions of our reactions here. All right, now, I don't know who sent it because they ordered it wisely from the manufacturer. They got free shipping. I noticed on the little tag there, so that was really awesome. So all I saw on the tag was that it said Victorian hat. Okay, and then I opened the box and I saw this is all I saw. I want you guys to see. Everybody's accusing me of being a present opener thanks to Maia. This is literally all I have seen of the box. All right, it looks like it could be a Halloween costume in there or something, right? So I'm afraid that the dog is going to want to chew that up if I drop it on the ground. Okay. Are you ready? You're not ready for this. Okay. It does not get any better. Oh my God. Now, I don't know. Are we going to look like that when we, hang on. Let me, wait. I don't know if we're going to look that sophisticated in this deluxe ladies Victorian top hat, but man, we are gonna try. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is just so stinking. Do you have your knife? I actually am not wearing my knife right now. We're gonna have to carefully. Now I'm worried about the feather of the one underneath. Oh, and it sat just nice. It did sit really nicely. You're gonna just have to pull it out. Oh, it comes right off. We're fine. We're fine here. Okay, now. This is so great. So here's the back of it. It kind of poops up like
train there.
It's a little train actually, and I've seen these people in the UK wear these hats. Okay. Actually, so mine has like a little bend in it from where it was in the box. I'm gonna get that.
Oh, that fits. It fits.
Now you look like a miner because it's bent in the front. You're gonna have to like.
Is that how you? Wait, where's the picture?
Well, it's just because the way it was sitting in the box.
It sits a little bit on her head there.
Like,
don't push
forward.
it all the way down.
Oh, I don't think I look as sophisticated as she does, though.
I don't think...
No, you're not doing it right.
She had it on an angle.
Does she have it on an angle?
Yeah.
It's a little angled, I guess, into the front. She looks better than I do. But that's all right.
It's just
we're gonna work it out. That looks good. That's really good on you. I kind of want to face it more so that you guys can see the.
No, you got it.
The feather.
You got it. I think you want a little bit higher.
Yeah, but then it's gonna literally fall off of my head.
No, that's the way
that's the way it's supposed to sit.
That's really sitting on top of her head.
Your feather is really feathering. Like it's so great. It looks good. Looks really good. I want to know who sent it. Who that? Look at Leah. That's a screenshot right there. This is so much fun. Thank you to whoever sent this. You know, Britt Baza has our address here at home, and he's from the UK, and so I don't know. Did you send this, Barry? Did you send us these amazingly wonderful?
I hope you have to do the duck face to really make it something.
Yeah, she is duck facing, isn't she? Hang on. Let me.
Yeah. Whenever I watch the British
That
shows,
could be. Hang on. Do that again. Tilt your head. Let's both go in here. Now, somebody get a screenshot of this. Together. There you go. That's
that was
resistance
a little
for you.
too ducky.
Mine was too ducky, or
No,
yours
mine was. I could see it. It was.
Should it be more like a lipped purse? Hang on. This is too bright. Let me lower the brightness here. Here we go. All right. Try again.
You know, whenever I watch the British shows, they always they have very.
I kind of want mine
always.
in the. I want this like thing in the front somehow. Like it's probably not supposed to be in the front.
I don't think
it's
that's
probably just supposed to be in the back.
All right. Well, as long as we're here.
Thank you to whoever sent these amazing hats. They are so stinking awesome. Yes.
I think we should next time. You should wear your hair up in a little.
Well, I couldn't open the box to figure out how to do my hair like she did. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, I guess maybe if I kind of did I could swirl it this braid here, and then it would be. See, look. Now I kind of look like her.
It is. That's it. Right there, girlfriend. You got it. That's it.
That's it.
That's the look.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the look.
So as promised on Friday, the whole show is getting done in these. Make sure that you look that way sometimes so they can see the jewelry. There you go. Okay.
The bling bling.
That's right. They'll see it on mine.
All right. So we are always standing in solidarity with the Hong Kong protesters. So this week we have some journalists being attacked by the police, I believe. This has not been loud enough lately. I don't know what's going on.
Remember how it used to kind of adjust?
Oh, look here. Look, wait. Try it now.
Maybe because I beat it. It's loud enough now.
Stop. I want to be able to adjust it over here and not here. That's better. Just bang it. Bang it. So very interesting. The police sprayed a mosque with that blue spray. We don't know why. I don't know. I've been able to figure out why. But the protesters cleaned it up or helped clean it up.
Good for them.
Yeah. Ethnic minority groups safe from attacks, but police accidentally sprayed, supposedly accidentally. We'll see. Spray blue dye at front of Kowloon Mosque. Faith leaders plead with Hong Kongers to seek calmness over revenge, saying the city's biggest mosque was not the police intended target. So, but they sprayed the mosque, and then the protesters went about cleaning it up. I don't put anything past the Hong Kong police these days. So this is the videos I was trying to show. Is I guess video shows police throw tear gas grenade at an Apple Daily reporter. The bomb went off right in front of her. Let's try this again. So
wow, that's awful.
You know, I don't pulling no punches lately here. Both the Hong Kong protesters, demonstrators walked today despite there's a ban by Carrie Lam saying you're no more protests.
No way.
But they're out in force with their masks and
they're out on the lam.
Yeah, with their masks and their umbrellas here. They want independence.
Right.
And, you know, they had their 5 demands. Carrie Lam supposedly offering some, I don't know if I have this one or not, but supposedly trying to offer maybe some monetary compensation to get them to kind of back off a little bit. I do not think that it's going to work. I think that the Hong Kong protesters have hit a nerve, and they're going to push all the way for freedom.
I can't blame them.
Speaking of freedom, you have this movement, this populist movement in Spain under the Spanish Vox movement. Then you have the Catalonian separatists who the Catalan separatist groups are inspired by Hong Kong. So we have a kind of a convergence here in Spain. So Spain's been in the news this week a lot. So I'm going to cover both aspects of that. The Tsunami Democratic, the Catalan separatist group inspired by Hong Kong. The socialist government of Spain is trying to clamp down on the Tsunami Democratic, the Catalan separatist group that has taken inspiration from the pro-democracy activists in Hong Kong and was behind the mass protests earlier this week at the El Prat airport in Barcelona. Thousands of people have taken to the streets of Catalonia to protest the Spanish Supreme Court ruling on Monday that convicted Catalan succession leaders of sedition for their roles in the 2017 independence referendum. You guys remember that? We covered that? Actually, it's funny to look at you like that with that top hat.
It's really great to see you, actually.
It looks good. It's funny. It looked. I wish you could tie that up because it really looks just like the girl with the thing, with the little bun on the side. But yeah, it looks good like that too. Like that too. It's funny.
I could probably figure out a way to.
9 of the 12 defendants, mostly former members of the Catalan government, were given prison sentences of up to 13 years.
What?
The people of Catalonia have long desired independence, resentful that the wealth created in their region is being redistributed to other regions of Spain.
No.
In 2017, Spain declared that the independence referendum was illegal and moved to suppress the vote. The European Union supported Spain and its aggressive police tactics against those seeking independence.
It was actually really awful to watch. I mean, they were just trying to go and vote, and they were being kept from. They were not permitted to even submit their votes, and they were being arrested. And
After the Supreme Court's decision, the Tsunami Democratic, a newly founded Catalonia separatist group, called on people to occupy the El Prat airport. In an act of civil disobedience, the group also distributed fake boarding passes at the airport in order to cause delays. Over 100 flights were canceled due to this disruption. Spanish newspaper El Pas reported that large crowds of mostly young people were shouting, "We're going to make it Hong Kong."
Wow.
The protests at the Barcelona airport were reminiscent of actions taken by pro-democracy activists in Hong Kong over the summer when thousands of demonstrators descended on the Hong Kong airport, forcing the airport to cancel all flights. Spanish police used foam bullets and batons to drive back the largely peaceful protesters from the airport. One man lost an eye after being shot by the police with either a foam or rubber bullet. So far, 200 people have been injured in protests since the court ruling on Monday. So we are going to see a few of these. You'll see in a lot of these videos that I was watching, these police actually seem to take a lot of joy in using these batons. I have a video where there are people seen running away, and the police are just whacking on them as they're running away.
That's awful.
So yeah, police brutality can easily get out of hand in situations like this. Demonstrators occupy Barcelona's El Prat airport, where police in riot gear fired foam bullets and used batons to drive back thousands of protesters.
Look at all those people. Where'd they get all those pallets? I've got a great idea. Let's protest with pallets. They're kind of heavy to carry around for a protest. But I guess it's almost like a shield, maybe?
So, just so that you know, what's very interesting here is that the chaos here is because people don't feel like they have a democratic vote.
Right. And there's nothing you wouldn't do if you felt like your voice was completely silent and you had no control over your government.
But what's crazy here, and I want to go this angle because this is where the Bernie Sanders people are going.
Yeah.
Because what happens in a socialist, like, kind of takeover is that you take away the people's voice. And then they must riot again to get it back.
Yeah.
Okay? And so we're seeing two sides of a coin that doesn't need to be in here, especially in America, because we have freedom.
Yeah.
We have liberty. And the socialists want to get us to the place where we're under a, like, Hong Kong suppressive Chinese government. The socialists want to get us under an EU totalitarian government.
Because that's actually freedom.
Want to get us under the Spanish totalitarian government. Okay? And we don't want to act like these people.
Right.
We don't want to get out in the streets and demand our freedom, because we already had a revolution once. Mm-hmm. People fought and people died here in America. America is the bastion of freedom,
right,
and has been since its founding in 1776. And we have kept for over, 250 years, we've been able to keep our country relatively calm and peaceful. Mm-hmm. And as Dennis Prager would talk about, many countries go through new constitutions and overthrow their governments all the time because they don't have the foundation that and where did that foundation come from? That foundation came from Christians using the gospel of Jesus Christ, realizing we don't want to go through throwing over kings or czars or empires all the time. We don't want to have to overthrow our government every 50 years. Our founding fathers wanted to set out a government that if you could keep this constitutional republic, you could vote in the things vote in the changes that you need to make. Okay? And what has happened in particularly in our country since 1913 with the advent of the Federal Reserve, which was not properly voted on at all and was put in by a patsy president because people rigged that particular election with Woodrow Wilson, we have had the whole world descend into chaos. We had two world wars.
Yes.
And most of it was pushed by, especially the Second World War, by this fake fiat dollar. And I was told, and you were told, our entire lives that Americans' economy came back after the Depression because of war.
Right.
And we were able to, and it makes no sense. You're spending money and suddenly money is being made. That doesn't make sense. But they try to convince children of that. Do you really
want to know why the economy bounced back after? Because yes, war does make money, okay, but you all of a sudden took 50% of your population that was not working and put them in the workforce,
and
which
you
is
killed
women.
Off tons of men.
It's I mean, it's like, of course you're gonna have this influx. I mean, it's just, and then the government's gonna do good. You got more taxes coming in.
So I can support the Democrat voice of these protesters, at the same time saying that is what the socialists want, this kind of uprising to bring in the opposite side of the pendulum. Since similar to the pro-democracy movement in Hong Kong, Tsunami democratic success is due in large part to their use of encrypted messaging services such as WhatsApp and Telegram. There are currently over 300,000 people following the group's main Telegram channel and over 178,000 followers on Twitter. Using encrypted messaging apps not only serves as a means of protecting the identity of the leaders, but allows the movement to be more organic and grassroots-based.
Yeah.
Head of the La Base communication studio, Alex Combs, told El Mundo, they get that the slogans from the political parties are not as influential as hearing from people close to you, from your family. It adds greater credibility to the message. It is not told by a politician, but your brother-in-law. Veronica Fumanal, a political communications expert, said everything is perfectly designed. The power of WhatsApp or Telegram is that they generate a pyramid. You start with a group of 10, and those 10 generate groups of 10, and you already have 100, and if you have 100, and then another 10, you have 1,000 and 10,000. Not much is currently known about Tsunami Democratic as an organization. The group's leadership remains anonymous, and their website was registered in St. Kitts, a small Caribbean island in the Antilles. The socialist government in Madrid, fearful of the separatist group's rise, has tasked Spanish intelligence agencies to investigate this group.
So when it comes to the Catalan people, and when we've covered this in the past, and I'm not seeing any of these comments here today, a lot of people were like kind of upset that we were fighting for these Catalan people because they were just pretty much stating that they're, socialist bordering communism, and if they get their way, then it's just going to be another little independent communist country.
While she speaks, I'm going to play this. This is Catalonian police brutality. Go ahead.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, so that's not the point. You still want these people to be able to vote on their own, to be independent from Spain if they would like. You know, there's...
Did you see this random
There's
guy?
a little bit of tyranny there that... Not a little bit, a lot of tyranny there that they will be able to get away from once they get their independence. Oh, wow. They just, like, clocked that guy.
Yeah.
Like, they had him already in custody, and then they kind of took him down and, like, hit him. The other police officer that was coming up on him. So when you're facing this kind of governmental tyranny, your own independence, even if within your independence you want heavy socialism, borderline communism, that's up to you. This tyranny is, this is ridiculous. They're just rushing these people.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, you don't want to be the one
left behind. Wow. They're not even trying to be calm about it.
Oh, they were a fascist government. I mean, you talk about fascism, Spain is a fascist government.
Oh, wow, that guy just got really hit by, that other police car.
So we're seeing a lot happening right now. What is this? Whatever you think of Catalonia, I think we can all say this kind of violence is completely
unjustified.
Unjustified. So these people are running away, and they just come out, and as they're running, it's just whoa, just bang them.
And what can these police officers be being told before they go out? Just like ruthless. You don't view them as people. You want to beat them. You want to scare them. You want to make sure that they never want to come back and do this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be squashed. That's the end. There's no tolerance. It's, and that's the kind of government that they have.
Yeah. And here we have Spanish police beating Catalan pro-independence protesters who were sitting down peacefully yesterday in Barcelona, Catalonia. Disproportionate police violence is a crime in democracies. Terms does not apply to Spain.
Oh jeez. It's hard to watch these people being beat with these batons because, and that guy's like holding his head. Like, okay, I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of these police officers, right? Like, let's pretend I'm a police officer and I've got this baton, right? And I'm told I need to get these people back with a baton. I would be like, go on, get. I mean, they are coming out like they've got baseball bats trying to hit a home run, just like wham, with all this vengeance. I mean, it's unnecessary, actually.
Yeah.
All you have to do is kind of lightly hit them with a baton and they would back up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's really hard to watch.
The
Spanish police, like all European police, are brutal.
Yeah. Spain is obviously not having any talk to these people. Barcelona mayor pleads for violence in Catalonia to stop amid pro-independence protests. The mayor of Barcelona appealed to his city to disband protests on the fifth consecutive night as Catalan separatists continued to clash with police.
So Barcelona's mayor is calling for calm after the fifth straight night of violent protests by Catalan separatists. We're going to show you a live shot now there in Barcelona. You can see right now happening at 10:51 p.m. in Barcelona, Spain. You've got a fist fight there. And on the right side of the screen,
that's
this is
really dark.
live.
It's not just
Police
you, like,
in the middle
you can
of
hardly
it.
see it.
This is, while we're watching this live shot, I'm going to give you a little bit of background of what's been happening here. Hundreds of people battled police by setting fire to garbage cans and throwing rocks and bottles. That's not where we are right now, but we'll eventually get to those pictures. I want to stay on the live pictures right now. But this is all coming in response to Monday's high court decision. They are to sentence 9 separatist leaders to prison for a failed 2017 secession attempt. And as you see there, again, this is live pictures, Barcelona, Spain, 10:52 p.m. Of course, Eric, in this day of social media and distrust between authorities and civilians, you have lots of cell phones rolling, but you can, it's Saturday night. And Barcelona is a very popular city. Lots of people go out to bars and drinking, especially this time and out in Spain, because, you know, after the siesta, you take a break and you come back full force for the evening for socializing. So the point that these people have taken to the streets here to protest what's happening says a lot, that the temperatures are high and tempers are flaring there.
It really is a beautiful city, and especially if it's along Las Ramblas, which was this wonderful walk with the shops on either side, and you've got the beaches and you've got the medieval town, and they have been so politically active trying to seek, or very strong portion of them trying to seek an independence from Spain, the Catalans, believing that they're their own independent people. They even outlaw bullfighting there, unlike other parts of that country. So they are very impassioned, very serious about who they are, their background, their history, and that is why they have been flooding the streets and why the separatist movement has had such important legs to continue through the political climate.
Yeah, I've been to Barcelona as well.
So listen to what she had said, that it's this kind of latest insurgence has been a result of certain people being sentenced to prison for the 2017 attempt to succeed from Spain. Yeah. So I can totally understand the uproar, the outrage, because there is such a thing as treason within a government, regardless of whether the government's a good government or a bad government, okay? Seceding from a nation is not treason, okay? It's not the same thing. They're not trying to do a coup. They're not trying to take over a government. They are literally just saying, listen, we don't want to be a part of you anymore. And
the reason they are, though, is because they're kind of like the white majority kind of Spanish snobs, and I will put that out there.
Sure.
Because they are they're the richer part of Spain, and so it's almost like I don't want to pay for poor people. I'm going to move on here to the other half of this coin, where you do have the populist Spanish Vox leader Abascal says his party will ban separatist parties. So you have the other side of this coin here. Santiago Abascal, the leader of the populist Spanish Vox party, has vowed to ban the separatist parties of Catalonia while praising the Spanish monarchy. Mr. Abascal spoke to Breitbart London, saying that the three main branches of the Spanish government have failed to combat the rise of Catalonian separatism. He said that no party except Vox had truly fought against the separatist movement. Spain is at a critical moment when the three powers have failed. The executive, because it came to the allied power with the same ones who want to annihilate Spain. The legislature, because with its inaction has allowed the separatists to reach this point. And the judiciary for having made a ruling tailored to the ruling party and its separatist partners. While being critical of the three branches of government, Abascal praised the Spanish crown, currently headed by King Felipe VI, saying, the only institution that has lived through Spain's historic moments, as well as the only one that has fulfilled its obligations for the Spanish people, has been the crown. Abascal went on to add that Vox would seek to implement a state emergency under Article 116 of the Spanish Constitution to restore order and constitutional legality in Catalonia. Once the constitutional order has been restored, we will proceed to call for the
illegality.
Legalization. I've never heard that word before. Making it illegal to have the separatist parties. Abascal also commented on the Tsunami Democratic Group, currently under investigation by Spanish authorities, which recently distributed fake boarding passes in El Prat Airport.
What?
Twitter. Check out Twitter.
Okay.
I just put some up.
Okay.
To disrupt air travel. The Tsunami Democratic is a new tool created by separatism to destabilize Spain through violent actions aimed at breaking our homeland and subduing the people of Catalonia. The Catalan oligarchs are encouraging violent groups to sow chaos with a general blessing. Oh, that's funny.
Mom did that.
The group has been likened to the Hong Kong demonstrators. That's nice, Mom.
No, I'm going to show them.
Some due to their decentralized nature. Vox has seen a surge in growth. So here we have YouTube, which blacklisted, it looks like Spain's populist Vox political party. YouTube has deleted the channel of the Spanish Vox party. So we see who is actually being, who's the bad guy here. And this is a tricky one. I'm going to leave this one up in the air because I'm leaning towards the Vox party. But at the same time, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm going to show you this. So my mom comes down the steps, Patriot Gallery, and she says, Twitter. I put something on Twitter. Check Twitter. And then you have to see this. So great. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. Let me move us here. Wait, there we go. Tell me that's not hilarious. I kind of look angry. I look really scary. Leah looks like an adorable doll there. Do you know what these look like? Good. It looks like a glamour shot. Like this top one and you in the left there. And then this one with you in the center down at the bottom. Yeah. You look very youthful. Like you look like a child there.
It's the camera, I think.
It's you are so stinking cute. That is adorable. And I love my mother. And so there you go.
Oh my gosh.
I still don't know. Barry says he did not send these. I don't know who sent them, but thank you. They are so fun. It was probably not Horatio.
All right, speaking of crazy people, we're going to go over here to the crazies that I can tell you are definitely crazy. Extinction Rebellion has been on the roll lately. I think we played they played the clip where they are being paid. I don't know if I did play that for you. This week I listened to an interview where several of them are being paid to work because they're giving up their work.
Right.
To save the planet.
Wow.
So several of them are being paid, and maybe these are only by arresting Broccoli can Extinction Rebellion save the planet. Now I feel like these are a bunch of thespians who are, that's a word for actors by the way, who desperately want to be on the stage, but they aren't really good at acting. So supposedly this is how they're treated.
Oh, hang on. They're after a piece of broccoli.
They're arresting. They're showing what it's like to be arrested, I guess, as an Extinction Rebellion.
Okay, but Worth a Look had sent me a video. Did you watch it with Piers Morgan and the broccoli guy?
No, you can bring it up.
It was really hard to watch, but I did watch it.
Go ahead, bring it up. I don't know why I honestly don't understand the arresting of the broccoli and why they're
somehow like broccoli has become their figurehead of their movement. Like broccoli is the ultimate
here we
vegetable.
Have Extinction Rebellion protester climbing scaffolding surrounding the Big
an Extinction
Ben,
Rebellion protester who is doing what the organisation have called a free solo climb of Big Ben. A spokesman for Extinction Rebellion saying that the climber is actually a tree surgeon, Ben Atkinson, who's 43 years of age. They said that Mr. Atkinson is planning to drop an Extinction Rebellion banner from the tower. There it is, you can see it.
They get a permit for
this. This is Elizabeth Tower, I'm told. Currently under maintenance,
why do they let these
surrounded by
stuff?
scaffolding. And Extinction Rebellion are saying it is to highlight government inaction on the climate and the ecological emergency. So those are the latest pictures from Westminster of that Extinction Rebellion demonstrator. And that's at the end of their 2 weeks of protest, Extinction Rebellion, here in the capital. And apparently he's dressed as Boris Johnson.
It's not a show.
He's dressed as Boris Johnson in green tights because we've all seen Boris Johnson.
So this was the video that has been seen over.
Hang on, let me do the broccoli one first.
Wait.
Okay. Wait. Just kidding.
Yeah. This is the video that has been seen around the world.
Okay.
Millions and millions and millions, because these commuters were trying to get to work, and these Extinction Rebellion people were on the roof, and they had the commuters had enough, and they pulled them off. Now, I think that the police are actually looking for the people who pulled them off.
Get them for you next. So I'm going to assume this is what you guys refer to as the tube all the time.
They get the other one off. Yeah, they get the other one off. There's an article here. I knew that.
Hang on, I'm going to the broccoli guy. Okay, here, wait. Now, you have to see this, because Leah hasn't seen this yet.
Broccoli.
He literally is, and it's hard to even, like, the one lady's getting, like, angry at him, because she's trying to ask him, like, are you being serious? And, you know, he's trying to say that he is, and she's not buying it.
Not that easy, but Grammarly.
I'm going to mute that commercial till we can skip it. Okay.
Mr. Broccoli, you went viral on the internet because you were arrested and you were a piece of broccoli.
Yes.
Do you identify as broccoli? Or?
I am Mr. Broccoli, yes. Yes, that's right, please.
Do you have another name or not?
No, Mr. Broccoli is
That's
me,
it.
yeah.
You don't go about your daily business as a piece of broccoli.
I've always been a piece of broccoli.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Right. So do you have a job?
I just grow. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I grow.
It's sprouted up everywhere.
And Mr. Broccoli, what is your aim? What do you want to achieve with all this?
I'd really like to see a transition to a plant-based food system. I think that's vitally important.
Lewis Hamilton, the Formula One racing driver today, or yesterday, very powerful interview or comments he's given on social media, saying he's reaching the end of his tether about this. Friends of his won't listen to him. He feels the world is in serious trouble and that the only way to save it is that we all go to where you want to go, which is a plant-based thing. So you've got some powerful friends in people like Lewis Hamilton. I mean, how are you going to persuade people like me who want a balanced diet of fruit, veg, meat, like we've always done, and think that that's perfectly okay?
A plant-based diet can be a balanced diet, please. It really can. And if you like the taste and texture of meat, there's loads of budding entrepreneurs in the plant-based food market. And
it doesn't taste the same, though. And there's also increasing evidence that a strict vegan diet, for example, can have bad impact on you.
No, I don't think that's true.
Well, the scientists are saying it.
Well, you know, I think
children may end up being more stupid, they say,
well,
if you have only a vegan diet, for example.
Peas, I don't know much about, you know, all I know that a plant-based food system.
You don't know much about the science. I mean, with respect,
I'm not a
Robbie,
scientist,
if you're going to tell me to give up meat, you've got to know about the science. Otherwise, why should I listen to you?
Well, Peas, a plant-based food
Are
system.
you calling pears peas?
Well, yeah.
Why?
I thought it'd be quite nice.
Can I just ask a straightforward question? And without any comedy, are you a plant? As in, because your argument dressed up as a broccoli just strikes me as so absurd.
Well,
that you're wearing a costume, but you're trying to get a serious point across about veganism.
it is a serious
Are
point,
you
yeah.
actually not part of Animal Rebellion and Extinction Rebellion at all, but somebody who's trying to send up the whole movement? Because I'm not sure you're going to win
not at all.
anybody over dressed as a broccoli, trying to make a serious political point about how to stop climate change by changing your diet.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, and we are in extremely hot water about this. You know, it's going to go pear-shaped. But I think...
What is?
This is a joke, isn't it?
No, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. But I do think that given the gravity of the situation, some levity and humour is important. You know, we need to be able to deal with this.
Do you practice what you preach? I mean, when it comes to the environment at home, do you have televisions and electrical devices, computers, laptops,
No,
phones?
I'm just a broccoli.
It is just a broccoli. I
don't have electric.
You said yourself recently.
Okay, so I'm going to end it there. That gives you enough of a taste. You guys can go and check this out on Good Morning Britain and watch it yourselves. But it cracked me up. It was difficult to watch, but, you know, it poses the question, are these, just how serious are these people? Is that guy part of it, or is he trying to make them look bad?
Right.
I kind of wonder, I mean, it could go both ways. if he's part of it or if he's trying to make them look bad, because they are insane enough that he could definitely be a part of it, and I would buy that.
Right.
Because they're so crazy.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely crazy. The British police are investigating the heroes who got the guys off of the train.
The tube.
Branding their actions unacceptable. Viral footage of the commuters at the Canning Town subway stop in London putting an end to a dangerous protest by Extinction Rebellion activists by dragging them off the trains they had climbed on top of, receiving an overwhelmingly positive response from the general public and even some members of parliament, including former government minister Tobias Ellwood. The British Transport Police seems to have a different take, decrying the commuters for taking matters into their own hands and displaying violent behavior in an unacceptable way. They have also announced that they will be launching an investigations, presumably with the view to punish the commuters instead of those who...
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You know, and I actually have a real problem with these people whose protesting stops the impedes the movement of transportation for people. And here's why. Because let's say there is a doctor in there that is set to do some sort of very timely surgery or transplant or something like that. These people don't care. They would call it collateral damage.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't take into consideration, like, let's say somebody is set for an adoption date or a court hearing where they may get custody or something like that, and they're late because of these people.
Right.
They don't care about others. They have no sympathy or empathy. They can't think outside of themselves.
So Britt Baza says all of Extinction Rebellion are vegetables. Europe is a mess with the police brutality. I thought that was a really good point. Do not give your guns up, America, says Storm Bear. So, yeah, I wanted to kind of give you guys a few comments there.
Well, Mr. Mikey says probably from the same acting group that did the Eat the Baby stunt.
Yeah, and then somebody else had said, I believe he's just trolling. We have a Celebrity Extinction Rebellion backers say heed Greta Thunberg for climate salvation. They've literally made her Jesus Christ.
Oh, my gosh.
More than 100 celebrity supporters of climate activist Extinction Rebellion who hail from Hollywood, the theater world, music, and the arts have admitted in an open letter being hypocrites over their high-carbon lifestyles. They said they think it best if everyone else not in their cohort do as they are told by Greta Thunberg and fight for their already devastated future before adding that critics will not silence us. And then Greta's wearing the same shirt as Michelle.
My message is that we'll be watching you.
I think I wear it better.
We will be watching you. We will be watching you. It sounds like a really bad horror
movie. She delivers these lines
movie.
and then she like waits. It's kind of creepy.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean.
This is the same one.
This is the one. I was just reminding you of it, but I have something to play for you. I have something to play for you that reminded me of this. You need to see this. So a guy in Australia decides that he is going to make this video talking to Greta. Are you ready? You're not ready. It's the best. This is so the best.
It's good.
My message is that we'll be watching you.
What?
This is all wrong.
What's wrong? We're just having a few beers. What are you, the ABC?
I shouldn't be up here.
No, you probably should be at school.
I should be back in school.
I just said that.
You all come to us young people for hope.
What? No, I go to young people to help me fix my internet and get onto Netflix for free.
How dare you?
What? Put the phone down, Russell.
You have stolen my dreams.
Your dreams? Wait till you get married, sweetheart.
How dare you?
Look, settle, pedal. I'm just having a beer, you know? Like, people aren't suffering.
People are suffering.
Well, people aren't dying.
People are dying. How dare you continue to look away?
Can't I just have this? I mean, I haven't flown halfway around the world in jet planes, and look, I don't even own a big F-off V8 Land Cruiser.
How dare you?
Ash, shouldn't the kids be away from the bar?
How dare you come here saying that you're doing enough?
Look, I'll probably just have a few more beers.
The politics and solutions needed are still nowhere in sight.
Our pollies can't even build a dam in 50 years.
You say you hear us,
Nah, can't hear ya.
and you are still not mature enough to tell it like it is.
Because you're mine.
It's where we draw the line.
What? That's not the lyric.
We will not let you get away with this.
Look, I'll happily get you a pink lemonade and a packet of chips, maybe.
And if you choose to fail us, I say we will never forgive you.
Jesus Christ. I mean, why having a whinge about something? Whinge to ash to get a few more younger chicks in here, you know? It's about time for a change.
And change is coming whether you like it or not.
Excellent, thank you. Can I get you a beer?
Thank you.
All right, Greta.
That was really, really, really funny. So Wertha looks like, can you send that to me afterwards? It's on Twitter on Yavi Amini's.
Yeah.
That needs to go everywhere. That was so funny.
Yeah.
Like it, and what it does is it brings down. They are just
I'll tweet it out. You
so
can see it on my
ridiculous
Twitter,
about
too.
this. I mean, it's not sanity. There are serious things that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
I would say, killing babies in their mother's womb would be, in my opinion, the top of the list that would require that kind of gravity.
Yeah, I think so.
In what you're
Right.
saying. How dare you kill a child in their mother's womb?
I went past a church today. Same. Well, not Elizabeth Seton. There's another. Yeah, Elizabeth Seton. They had just so many crosses out front. Each one represented 10 babies aborted each day.
No way.
It was just hundreds of crosses.
Wow.
So basically, these hypocrites with their high carbon lifestyles, you know, telling everybody else don't fly, don't do anything.
Well, and I was really impressed
brush
with
your
Piers
teeth with a twig.
calling out, do you still use electronics? Because it's like these kids are clueless.
They're so clueless.
And these celebrities,
There's the clue,
did you
and
just
they are
tweet?
less the clue.
I mean, did you just tweet out something? Like, you're using electronics, you're contributing to the system, but it reminded me of
I was
Bernie
looking
Sanders.
at, like, the broccoli
I'm only going to recycle it, everybody's recycling.
That the little mop on his head, like, it was made probably in a factory with fossil fuels.
Yeah, that was
paint.
synthetic.
So did he go get that green clay and smush it all over his face? Where'd the sunglasses come from?
Where do you get green clay?
You know? In essence, they claimed Wednesday, well, I guess if you mix clay with, like, moringa powder, you'd be green. Yeah. Yeah. Life on Earth is dying. We are living in the midst of the sixth mathematician.
It's the fifth mathematician that you ever have. It's the fifth mathematician.
Try to say sixth mathematician. 3 times fast. Everybody right now. Sixth mathematician. Sixth mathematician.
That was good. You did it that time.
I tried really hard. British actors Jude Law, Sienna Miller, Benedict Cumberland, Lily Cole, Adam Clayton, U2, and Riz Ahmed. Don't even know who those people are. Right, you know who you do.
You're so famous. We
Are
don't know
among
you.
the signatories on the letter, which circulated by XR. It also features sign-offs from Radiohead's Thom Yorke, a writer Ian McEwan, and former Archbishop of Canterbury Rowan Williams. The missive was specifically addressed to journalists who had called the thespians and musicians hypocrites, and they said, "You're right. We live high carbon lives, and the industries that we are part of have huge carbon footprints. Like you and everyone else, we are stuck in this fossil fuel economy, and without systematic change, our lifestyles will keep on causing climate and ecological harm."
And let me translate that to you. Unless there's a change in everybody else so that they make it so that we can still keep all of our luxuries.
Bingo.
Then I'm not going to be able to make a change.
Right.
And so it's your fault that my lifestyle of wanting to have all of these things,
right?
Because I have to
because
have these
people
things.
haven't created the automation that they want,
because you
and
guys
the form
are
of
keeping
electricity
us
that they want exactly
and so it's all your fault. So I can't make a change.
And
I can't do it. It has to be systematic.
It is, and we have to call them out on this and just say, hypocrite, shut up. Okay, we don't use shut up very much, but this is one of those things where you do get thee behind me, Satan, which is basically shut up, right? It went on to say that articles labeling them climate hypocrites would not silence us and encourage more people to join the movement of Hypocrites. In a separate note, actor Stephen Coogan said he believed XR should be applauded for putting climate at the top of their agenda where it belongs, and not doing anything in their personal lives, still traveling all over the world in airplanes and probably taking first class or private jets. Their entreaty to the world to stop burning fossil fuel mirrors the same plea from Stephen Fry, Ruby Wax, and Sir Mark Rylance, and Juliet Stevens and Olivia Colman, who had already backed XR. This is not the first time stage and screen actors have spoken to back the Extinction Rebellion. Dame Emma Thompson flew 5,400 miles to take part in Extinction Rebellion's protest in London back in April. The actress star, you know who she is, made the unusual decision to fly halfway around the world to join the environmental protests in the capital. Speaking of the protests, Thompson said she couldn't attend from the beginning as she was celebrating her birthday. She goes, I was turning 60, so, you know, these champagne socialists. I absolutely wanted to be arrested on my 60th birthday, and but I haven't quite managed that, she added. A flight from Los Angeles International Airport to London generates at least 1.67 tons of CO2. So, we have Harry Potter, not Potter, you know, Harry the Hendersons, Harry and Meghan.
Harry and Meghan.
Yeah, he says he would like to move to Africa, so he's looking on building a house in the bush. I'm wondering
but
how
why
well
does he
want to
live in Africa?
Because he married a black girl. I don't know. He's a big racist. It's so weird. He's like, I have this black wife now. We're going to go travel to Africa. It's so weird.
That is strange.
It is strange. It is very strange to me. I feel like an underlying racism. Like, hi, honey, these are your people. Like, that's the vibe I get from him. Wow. He's always loved Africa. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'm calling Prince Harry racist. And racist. Yeah, he married a black woman, but I feel like he looks at that like as in like a good duty to the world. Like, I married a black woman. Like, you know, I love her. She does love her. I can see it all over his face. I'll give him that. He does love her, but it's like he looks at like, I married a black girl. You know, like he's over trying it. Like the way they had that black choir there and the one black guy. It's like they overdo it. Like the Crown and everybody, they overdo it. It's embarrassing. And how he wants to move to Africa. Or actually they said that or yeah, they did want to move to Africa. But my point is that they're flying all over the place telling us not to go anywhere. Right? Not to go or do or live lives. Like, we don't get to live happy-go-lucky lives. They can have the crown, build them a palace in Africa. If they want to live in Africa, they wanted Africa to be their base. Meaning they're going to... my base is Ohio, and I don't drive 2 hours away or 3 hours away sometimes because I want to go somewhere. They want to go halfway around the world. They get in an airplane. They just go.
So you know what I think it is? I think it is imperialism. And I think that
he wants to take over Africa.
Harry thinks he's like, you know what? We tried this once and it didn't work out.
Let's do it.
And now I want to go back and I want to do it again. Now that I have an African queen. Wow.
Yeah. So these people, this sums it all up. They basically are saying, yes, the earth is dying. We live these high carbon lifestyles, but we have to until somebody comes up with some other solution. Now, guess what? There's this really great solution. And this big carbon footprint didn't come about until the Industrial Revolution.
Right. Do things yourself. Do for yourself.
Do for yourself.
Do for yourself.
Yeah.
Grind your own flour. Grow your own food. Raise your own pigs, raise your own chickens, can your own food.
And really, these actors should not
grow
be
your
acting.
own fruit, grow your own berries.
Electricity it costs to
raise bees. Oh, wait, I just described our lives.
How much electricity to film a movie, to put it out, to put it in to theaters. They want the people to drive to the theaters to see their movies.
Right.
All this is generating carbon.
But it does not matter because the world is going to fall. Regardless of whether we do that or not. And so we might as well hasten it and see if we can get our message of brainwashing across.
Because I have to be an actor. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. That's what I am. I'm a thespian. That's what I was born to do.
Just like Mr. Broccoli is broccoli.
Right. And you all people were born to be my slaves. And now come up with some solution so that I can keep living my king of the king lifestyle. Right. They're the slave owner mentality. If you wanted to know where the slave owner mentality went, boom, that's exactly where it went. It's the same people who want to bring over more migrants to work for them. We need more migrants. All right, in Sweden, I'm not changing hats. for the Sweden. The lay judge involved in Sharia values case convicted of a fraud. A female Muslim lay judge involved in an infamous court case that controversially used Sharia law principles in Sweden, okay, has been convicted of gross fraud over false employment reports. Ebtisam Aldebe, a former politician for the Swedish Center Party, was convicted of fraud after filing employment reports and compensation claims for a total of over 150,000 kronar, which is about $15,000, on 138 separate occasions. As part of her sentencing, she is expected to pay the money back, along with a further $6,000 in daily fines. It is obvious that the purpose of her actions has been to hide the fact that she did not have the income loss for which she claimed compensation. Al-Debe denied the crime, saying, "I'm innocent." Absolutely, the Muslim lay judge will be able to appeal the judgment. The former Center Party politician became a controversial figure last year after she, along with another lay judge, ruled that a Muslim man accused of beating his wife was innocent because he came from a better family than his spouse. The judges also questioned why the woman had gone to the Swedish police first to resolve the matter rather than to members of the Muslim community. Former president of the Swedish Bar Association, Bent Iverson, slammed the ruling with a good Swedish last name at the time, saying, "This is one of the most prejudiced and strange judgments I have read. Not completely unexpectedly dictated by two lay judges, still, no one in charge wants to do something about the lay judge system. Sharia courts do not currently exist in Sweden, but do in other countries like the UK, where journalist David Jones revealed last year that battered housewives often pay off Islamic clerics to allow them to divorce their abusive husbands."
So this Swedish lay judge that was a female?
She was a female, and she said, "The husband beats you, but he had a better family, so you shouldn't even have come to me. Why didn't you come to the Muslims? And why did you come to the Swedish court? And I am the Muslim Swedish. I am the Muslim Swedish judge here, and you."
I feel like a judge like that shouldn't just be like, what is it? It's not disbarred when you're not a judge anymore. I mean, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, they should be taken from the bench.
Yeah.
And then put in prison.
Yeah.
That is actually,
it should be a crime. It's a crime.
It's a crime.
It's a crime
to not mete out proper justice.
It's a crime.
Because the idea behind the judicial system worldwide is to make it so that someone is punished
when they do something wrong.
Exactly. And so if you don't do that, then you have actually committed a crime against the victim.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So Denmark is actually prepared to build a wall on the German border during this migrant crisis. Newly released documents claim that the Danish government was prepared to build a wall on its southern border with Germany during the height of the 2015 migrant crisis. The documents claim that the government was fully prepared to build a 33-kilometer long wall across the border and had already spent 22 million Danish kroner on materials to build the structure, about $3.2 million US dollars, says the Danish newspaper. Minister of Justice Nick Hækkerup revealed the plan to the Danish parliament, showing that the Ministry of Defense's Material and Purchasing Board had purchased 3,500 barbed spirals, 37,000 barbed wire posts, 35,000 barbed wire prick, along with equipment such as gloves and scissors to build the barbed wire fences. According to Hækkerup, 90% of the materials purchased by the Ministry of Defense were not used and remain in storage after the ministry determined in June 2017 that it would not be required. Søren Pind, who served as Danish Justice Minister during the migrant crisis, originally talked about the proposed border fence in his book Free Words, released last month. In the government, there were discussions about building a barbed wire and concrete wall at the border with Germany. Very precise plans were drawn up. It turned out we did not have enough resources and that the materials and items to make such a violent decision were not part of our emergency stocks at all. He later told Danish media that the government created the plans because they were afraid that Europe would collapse under the weight of the migrant crisis. So they behind the scenes and at the front, everything's fine, build a wall, everything's fine, build that wall, get, this is going to be bad.
But it's interesting that this is coming out now.
Yeah, exactly.
They're still not going to try and build a wall.
No, they're not, because it's kind of been mitigated a little bit. I mean, everybody's kind of in.
They're already there. So if you build a wall, they can't get out.
Now, exactly. Now they can't get out. In Greece is actually evacuating more migrants from islands fearing new migrant wave. The Greek government has evacuated more migrants from the island of Lesbos to the mainland as the country prepares for a potential new wave of migrants from Turkey.
Wow.
Around 13,500 migrants are estimated to currently live at the infamous Moria migrant camp that is only supposed to hold 2,500. As arrivals continue to increase, the government has begun to both evacuating migrants as well as building further accommodations on the island. While Frontex, the European Union border agency, is said to be able to stop around 8 out of 10 boats attempting to get to Greece from Turkey, the overall demand to reach Europe has increased overall. The Moria camp has become notorious for violent and conflict, with a migrant woman dying last month as a result of a fire that led to riots in the camp. I'm sure the people in Greece are like, yay, this is a happy place. Police were forced to use tear gas during the situation. As a result of the continued conflict in the camp, both the mayor of Lesbos and the United Nations have called for the transfer of migrants to the Greece mainland, because these people causing chaos are doing such a great job there on the island that we just want to bring them into the mainland where they can cause a little bit more.
No, that's awful.
Chaos.
Now, speaking of Greece, though, just as a little bit of a reminder there, the Grecian people have been forced to like give up their apartments or share them.
Well, they all have.
Or what have you, to these migrants. So this isn't just a matter of an inconvenience where I don't like these extra people living on the streets, or even the migrants are causing violence. They are literally having to give up their homes. So imagine that.
Yeah, businesses.
The EU says to Greece, we own you.
Basically.
You literally can't stand on your own 2 feet without us. We are your provider. We are your big brother. We are everything. And so within that, you have no choice but to do what we say. You're the mat beneath our feet. And when these migrants come in, you have to give up your homes for them.
Right, exactly. So with Donald Trump pulling out, those 50 troops there on the northern border of Syria, Turkey has been kind of flirting with this hand that they're playing. I have this dog has pushed. Yeah,
she's like asleep at your feet. Yeah,
trying not to step on the dog. Turkey is holding back a lot of these Syrian refugees, and they are. And not just Syrian refugees, by the way. It's like they're coming from everywhere. And Turkey is they're constantly waving the flag. We're going to let them go. We're going to let them go. Like, how is that like an ally?
Yeah.
We're going to let them go. We're going to let them go into your country. We're going to So, but
it's a threat.
Here we have Hungary, Viktor Orban saying Hungary will use force if Turkey opens the gates of Europe. So this is kind of a big deal here for Hungary and Turkey. I'm just trying to Yep. Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban vowed that Hungary will use force to protect its southern border from waves of migrants if Turkey carries out its threat to direct 3.6 million people to Europe.
What?
Speaking to the Hungarian private broadcaster Her TV, Orban warned in comments reported by Euronews, if Turkey sets off further hundreds of thousands on top of this, then we will need to use force to protect the Hungarian border and the Serbian-Hungarian frontier, and I do not wish for anyone that we should need to resort to that. Orban's comments come after the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan continued to threaten the European Union not to oppose his actions in Syria. I say it again, if you try to label this operation as an invasion, it's very simple. We will open the gates and send 3.6 million refugees your way.
That's a threat.
It is. It's a huge threat. Orban concluded the next weeks will decide what Turkey does with these people. It can steer them in 2 directions. It can take them back to Syria, right, which is where they should go, or they could send them towards Europe. If Turkey chooses the latter, these people will arrive at Hungary's southern border in huge masses. Orban warned, recommending that the EU should provide more funds to Turkey to help rebuild Syrian towns. Hey, makes perfect sense. At the height of the European migrant crisis in 2015, hundreds of thousands of people from the Middle East, South Asia, and Africa marched over Hungary's southern border and deeper into Europe. Hungary was able to reduce illegal crossings by 99% after Prime Minister Orban sealed the country's southern border with Serbia, effectively shutting down the main Balkan migration route. Over the 2-year period after the construction of the wall, border crossings fell from 391,000 to 1,000, basically 1,100.
To nothing.
Yeah.
100%.
You know what? Viktor Orban
is the man.
You are a hero.
You are my hero.
You are a hero.
Yeah, he's such a cool guy.
You know who's another hero? Salvini. Salvini's not gone, so we want to kind of talk about him every once in a while. He says, Salvini says, migrant drownings are caused by do-gooders reopening the ports and encouraging the smugglers.
Exactly. Very true. They have blood on their hands.
They do. The bodies of a child and 6 others have been recovered from the Mediterranean Sea after an overcrowded wooden migrant transport capsized and sank off the coast of the Italian island of Lampedusa. The head of Italia's Lega party, Matteo Salvini, has attributed the recent deaths of migrants to the open-door policies of Italy's new left-wing coalition government. It's a really sad thing to think about, but I'm praying that what's happening is that the people in Italy are like, you know what? We're going Salvini full on next time. Just wait.
It's going to be
great.
great.
They really, just wait. These deaths are the result of the do-gooders. For there is a room for everyone, of open ports, of a renewed enthusiasm for the smugglers. The number of landings has tripled. Those who allowed the ports to be reopened, do they mourn those dead people? Who cares about the people? Salvini. The deaths of the migrants at sea declined under Salvini's tenure when he closed down the ports. The sunken boat, which is believed to have started its journey in Libya before... let's just remember Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama overthrowing the government in Libya, Gaddafi, and then suddenly it was all a
coordinated effort. And now they all have flooded here. Not here, but flooded there.
Yeah. After making the stop in Tanzania a safe country. It was carrying over 50 migrants at the time of the shipwreck on October 7th. Salvini also says he likes being called a populist, but I love what he said here. He rejected allegations of fascism, a fascist illusion, saying that fascism is dead and that to be called a populist is a compliment. The former Italian interior minister was asked in an interview with French magazine Le Point about his upcoming rally on yesterday. Yeah, in Rome, with some comparing it to the former fascist leader Mussolini. So it's retarded. He goes, "We have filled a square in Rome, San Giovanni, where the left is often found. It is also known as a concert venue. Fascism, like communism, is a dead idea. These are phenomena to be studied, but neither of them will return." When he asked how he defines himself politically, Salvini stated, "I believe that the left and the right, the fascist and the communist labels are outdated. I myself, an Italian, I'm neither a right nor a left." And that's actually true for him. "I do not criticize the PD, the Democratic Party, because it is of the left, but because it depends on the will of Brussels.
Wow.
While for the Lega, the Italian interest is the priority." Bam. "For me, a populist is a compliment. It means being close to the people."
Yeah.
Salvini's popularity with the people continues to dominate the polls. The survey released by EMG Aqua shows the Lega with 31.8% compared with the two coalition parties, which each polled under 20%. The Lega leader also enjoys 39% confidence rating. Since September, polls have shown widespread opposition to the current leftists. So we'll see how long that lasts. It's not going to last very long. In Germany, we're going to get to Brexit, but we're going to do that last. Female Islamic State member on trial in Germany kept 3 slaves. So weird to me.
What?
I know. This is like a random headline where you're like, you want to read it because you're like, what did I just? Okay. A female Islamic State member on trial in Germany is accused of keeping 2 women and a young girl as slaves while living with her jihadi husband in Syria. Sarah O, who traveled to Syria to join the radical Islamic movement when she was 15, is now on trial at the higher regional court in Dusseldorf, charged with being a member of a terrorist group. She's now 21 years old, and the Islamic State member faces up to 15 years in prison if found guilty. She is said to have lived in a house with her husband and 3 children, which they had obtained after Islamic State fighters had killed its former occupants.
So wait, they're calling them her children.
No, she has children.
Oh, okay.
She has children. Then there's 2 women and a girl that she used as slaves.
Okay, but it just said they obtained.
They obtained the house.
Oh, okay.
After they killed the people
but that's
who lived
the wrong
there.
Subject connecting there.
Yeah.
The children which they had obtained. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
The young girl kept as a slave was a member of the Yazidi minority, who are often kept as sex slaves to be raped and tortured by ISIS fighters. While the trial was closed to the media due to the charges having occurred when Sarah O was a minor, Gian Adoni from the Central Council of Yazidis was present in the chamber. Speaking about the Yazidis, he said, "They have been tormented, tortured, humiliated, raped. ISIS women are often crueler than men. Jealousy plays a role here." Ahmet 51 and 48-year-old Perhan, the in-laws of Sarah O, have also been brought up on charges. A total of 33 witnesses have been called to the case. So it's very interesting.
So hang on a minute, though, because, and there looks like there's more to read, but I'm kind of confused because if this girl went when she was 15, I don't know how much at fault she is. I mean, this seems like total brainwashing. I mean, this could have been a part of a sex rape gang kind of thing where she was brainwashed and...
Yeah, it depends on if she chose to go herself.
Yeah.
You know, she chose to go and then she chose to...
Did she... But would she have randomly tried to go without a grooming gang person, like, grooming her to want to go? Does a Brit really just wake up every day and just literally like, you know what? I love the Muslim ideology. I love the idea of jihadi. I'm going to go seek out,
right?
You know.
Well, the start of the trial comes just days after 3 female Islamic State sympathizers in France were convicted of plotting to blow up the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris in 2016. 2 main suspects were sentenced to 25 and 30 years in prison, and I wanted to make that a big deal as well. These Notre Dame plotters, because remember, Notre Dame did catch on fire, and they have not told us what the cause was, but we do know that in 2016 that this was a plot to blow it up. 2 radical Islamist terrorist women who plotted to attack the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris by blowing up a car filled with gas canisters have been given 25 to 30-year sentences. They were going to fill a car up with gas canisters in September 2016. Both women are said to have been highly influenced by Islamic State propagandist Rachid Kassim, a man suspected of having encouraged several Islamic attacks in France before he was killed by a U.S. drone strike in February 2017. These 2 women had attempted to blow up their car in front of several restaurants near Notre Dame, but ultimately failed to do so to their choice of diesel fuel, which proved impossible to ignite.
That's fascinating.
The 2 young women then hid in an apartment following the failed attack orders under Kassim, where they were joined by this woman, Sarah, who stabbed a member of France's General Directorate for Internal Security when officers raided the apartment containing these 3 women. So it's absolutely crazy. The women have gone crazy is what I'm trying to say. I don't believe that we can just say, oh, women are just, brainwashed. I think that you've got to give them some...
I'm just going by her age.
Right.
By the age that it started. Abominable Snowman says, one woman is also facing trial for seeking to blow up St. Paul's in London, I think.
Okay. All right. So, shall we go? Oh, Turkey. Hezbollah ordered to EU, kneel or we will open gates and send 3.6 million refugees your way. This is just another part of that, another article about Turkey here saying, hey, European Union, pull yourselves together, warned Turkish strongmen who used a failed coup against him in 2016 as an opportunity to hurl thousands of his political opponents and detractors into prison, including all journalists that wrote anything that he didn't like were thrown in jail. I say it again. If you try to lay this operation an invasion, it's very simple. We're going to open the gates. And Erdogan boasted that his operation had already eliminated over 100 terrorists. We don't know exactly if they were terrorists or not. I don't believe a word that he says at all. And Turkey does receive a lot of, obviously, the migrants that come straight up through Turkey. All right, so in Britain, we're going to talk about Brexit next. But I'm going to talk about this for a second. Y'all look crazy over there, and you guys, this is crazy. So, Chick-fil-A opened up its first store in London, I believe. I know the first British branch. I'm not sure what city it was in. So this Christian-led American family restaurant chain, Chick-fil-A, will lose its first British branch after lobbying from the LGBT community. And what boggled my mind was it was saying it was like LGBT rights activists. LGBT rights activists. What rights is Chick-fil-A stamping on of the LGBT? You can come in there and eat. You can work there. All they're saying is that I'm a Christian and I hold to the biblical view of marriage between a man and a woman, and I believe homosexuality to be a sin.
Well, and this actually goes to like censorship laws where you can go to jail for what you say, but in this instance, you can now go to jail for just what you think.
But in this instance, the bigotry against the Christians, they're not going to jail for.
Right. No, I'm just saying, okay, so in my mind, jail is, you're right. Let me re-say that. But they're shutting down a business. They're not actually going to jail, but to me, it's the same thing. You don't have the right to have your own business here.
No, but in Britain, you can go to jail for saying or doing anything that is deemed hateful. Well, this is hateful. Why aren't they going to jail?
Right.
The family-owned restaurant chain, known for its Christian ethos and alleged support for socially conservative causes, has 2,400 branches across the United States. It was Reading, England, at the Oracle Shopping Center, has announced it will not renew its British Pilot restaurant's lease after its first 6 months are up. Barely a week after its grand opening, the Oracle said not renewing Chick-fil-A's lease would be the right thing to do. After group lobbying, Reading Pride complained that the restaurant chain's donations to Christian charities such as the Salvation Army, the Paul Anderson Youth Home, and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, which they characterize as anti-LGBTQ, according to the BBC, the company caused something of a fervor among left liberals in 2011 when its chairman voiced his belief that marriage was between a man and woman and that he therefore could not support moves to legalize same-sex marriage. But a spokesman recently told the BBC that its focus nowadays was youth and education and that it never donated with the purpose of supporting a social or political agenda. There are 45,000 people, black, white, gay, straight, Christian, non-Christian, who represent Chick-fil-A, the spokesperson said. So here we have, they're so proud of themselves.
Streaky Bacon says the town that banned the Chick Shop has road crossings in the rainbow flag colors.
Unmoved by such defenses, the Oracle has now confirmed that while it always looks to introduce new concepts to our customers, we have decided that on this occasion that the right thing to do is to only allow Chick-fil-A to trade with us for the initial 6-month pilot period and to not extend the lease any further. Reading Pride's so-called Get the Cluck Out protests were supported by local politicians from the far-left Labour Party, which serves as the main opposition to Britain's governing Conservative Party. And the party has been increasingly hostile to the United States in general.
So Nom Nom says, yes, I live in Reading, and me and my partner are going to be eating there on Wednesday. LOL.
Well, thank you very much. And give them a big hug and say you wish that everybody would just chill out.
It's unbelievable. It's a chicken sandwich restaurant. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're not trying to, they're not even really politically active at all.
Imagine this for 1 second.
Imagine
this for a second. If a pro-gay restaurateur who was supporting gay marriage tried to open up a restaurant in, let's say, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, nobody would care. They would say, well, you want to eat the food? Eat the food.
Right.
It's not like there's no signs at Chick-fil-A that say gay marriage is bad. There's no signs anywhere that say, gay people not welcome. There's no hate. There is literally only a biblical belief. Now, remember, Muslims believe that eating bacon is a sin.
Yeah.
And that's okay. They're literally, they will use and slaughter meat halal for the Muslim kids. But a chicken sandwich, there's nothing about their restaurant that says anything.
Well, actually,
except
I think
they
close on Sunday, and so the LGBTQ people could say that on Sundays they are specifically being denied the right of patronage to go to this restaurant because they are closing and shutting down so that homosexuals can't come and eat there on Sundays.
Right. Exactly. To Extinction Rebellion real quick.
Godfather of Green, are you going to man the barricades with Extinction Rebellion? Do you support their cause?
No, I don't. I think the silly buggers are going far over the top. It's all real.
I'm going to hear that again.
So, James Lovelock, the Godfather of Green.
Yeah.
Did you read that?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Oh, wait. Wait, come back. Hit the thing in. It was up here. It was wherever the Google thing was. Made it louder.
Do it down here and see, because that looks like it's down pretty low.
But make sure when you jump off.
Let's try one more time.
It's with Extinction Rebellion. Do you support their cause?
No, I don't. I think the silly buggers are going far over the top. It's all very well to mount a barrier, but make sure when you jump off, you don't crash on the other side. And that's just what they're doing at the moment.
So that was very interesting. This is James Lovelock, the world's most distinguished environmentalist, has come out against the XR, the Extinction Rebellion. They're a bunch of silly buggers. The 101-year-old said this week.
Oh my gosh!
I know. Dr. Lovelock, independent scientist, inventor of Gaia theory, creator of the first device to measure the CFCs causing a hole in the ozone layer, environmental campaigner over many decades, told Breitbart News that he has no sympathy for the Extinction Rebellion craziness. The eminent British scientist who celebrated his 100th birthday earlier this year and is still going strong was laughing at the expense of Extinction Rebellion activists. A working class man himself and a former radical anti-fascist firebrand during the Spanish Civil War, Lovelock was particularly unimpressed at the idea of middle-class green activists trying to stop workers traveling to their jobs by public transport. As inventor of the Gaia theory, the hypothesis that the whole planet, the biosphere, can be understood as one giant self-regulating organism, Lovelock is arguably the world's greatest living environmentalist. His theories have been hugely influential on the deep ecology movement, but as he's gotten older, he's grown less impressed with the environmental movement's rejection of science and nature in favor of left-wing political activism. Lovelock's suspicions were confirmed by EX's activist Stuart Basson, who has written a piece admitting that Extinction Rebellion really isn't about the climate. I'm here to say that the XR isn't about the climate. You see, the climate's breakdown is a symptom of a toxic system that has infected the ways we relate to each other as humans and to all life. This was exacerbated when European civilization was spread around the globe through cruelty and violence, especially over the last 600 years of colonialism. So, though Lovelock himself is concerned about global warming, he doesn't think that waging war on prosperity is the answer. So, he's more of a real, true person's, man's man. Environmentalist. All right, so, Brexit, where are we at? Where are we at?
I actually
with
have
Brexit?
those videos if you want me to play those. Whatever that was that you just had up there. The chaos.
We'll play that maybe last. So let's play the Nigel video and how he thinks this is going to happen. Nigel Farage and Ian Paisley Jr., the Northern Irish MP, the son of firebrand DUP founder, the Reverend Ian Paisley. Lord Benside has vowed that there will be no surrender at a European Union deal to a European Union which divides the United Kingdom. Now, if you don't know what's going on, let me give you kind of the backstory. Yesterday, there was supposed to be, the European Union has accepted Boris Johnson's deal. Now, Nigel Farage says this deal is not a good deal. It is the second worst deal in history.
Right.
Do you know some of the points that make it bad deal? You may tell me.
Well, no. So they come out of the customs union, and that's actually the pro of the deal. That's the good. That's the good news.
But there's a caveat with that.
There is. Go ahead.
They can't make a better deal with other countries than the EU has.
Right.
So the EU is still dictating.
They're
what
still
kind of deal.
at the top. But they also stay within. It's a kind of weirdly written thing. That's the layman's terms of it is that the UK cannot infringe on certain laws, like, so they can't make laws that would then infringe on the EU laws, and so they're still stuck within, and they've left the DUP, they've left the Irish, the Northern Ireland people, just like he's practically sold them out to the European Union, and it's so wrong, and the DUP are so angry.
He says, this is Nigel Farage, this is not Brexit.
Up to this and head down this new negotiation. And if the Prime Minister was to succeed, that we would never, ever be able to become more competitive than our European neighbours. Never able to seek that opportunity of becoming richer and more successful. And what it means is that in vast swathes of our national life, we will not be making our own laws for our own people in their own industries. We'll have to continue to conform to European Union laws. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is not Brexit. This is not what we voted for, and this is not good enough.
So there is the argument that, because I was listening to Nigel's show today, and some people had called in and they were issuing the argument of, listen, why don't we just take this half bad deal, okay, and then continue to alter things and change things after the fact. And that's actually not unreasonable, except for the fact that what this is it's actually a brand new treaty with the European Union. So what would need to happen is more referendums, more votes, more pretty much Brexiting from this treaty, because the treaty states that they can't alter the laws, that they can't be sovereign in these areas, all right? And that's what a treaty is. When you go into an agreement of you do this and I'll do this, or I won't do this because this is our treaty together. It's not a withdrawal agreement. It's a second treaty into the European Union. And that's what makes reforming these laws after the fact practically impossible. Nigel's like, that would take years and decades. Like, who knows?
And without a good parliament, you're not going to even have the want to do it.
Exactly. So what Nigel would like to see happen, which I find really interesting, why Boris, what I put in the title here is how Boris had put, and we're going to get to these two different letters. The Parliament wants an extension. Boris says he doesn't want an extension. Nigel wants an extension because Nigel thinks that they can get an election if they get an extension. And that's why Nigel wants the extension. And so normally we would all be like, no extension, October 31st, yada, yada, yada. But if it comes down to this bad deal and getting an extension, Nigel is saying, let's get the extension. Let's get another vote. We can get people in there, and then so on and so forth.
It hasn't been approved by the Parliament yet. There's going to be another vote tomorrow, possibly, but John Bercow may not allow the vote on Boris Johnson's deal. Now, Nigel Farage has denounced Boris Johnson's EU deal as 95% the same as Theresa May's withdrawal deal, which was deemed so terrible by Remainers as well as Brexiteers that it was voted down 3 times in the House of Commons. Nigel's verdict that the Johnson deal is a reheated version of May's deal. That's his version. He also points out that it would split the UK by effectively imposing a border down the middle of the Irish Sea. Thus separating Northern Ireland from the rest of the UK. Various commenters, however, have decided that the only conceivable reason Farage is so opposed to the Johnson deal must be that Farage believes it would spell the end of his political career. Obviously, they don't understand Nigel Farage. Farage does not want a political career. He wants the UK to leave the EU and rule itself as an independent, sovereign, democratic nation.
Now, the fact that the EU agreed to this deal, and I was listening to Farage on LBC, and one of the callers called in and pointed out something really, really important, and that is, after this whole agreement between Boris and the EU, the faces of the people in the EU were ecstatic. They were so happy. It would look like the cat that ate the canary. And she's like, to me, that just seems like there's something really bad going on. I mean, that's a telltale sign. If the EU is happy with this deal, why should the UK be happy with it?
Exactly.
Why should conservative parties and the conservative parties and the MPs vote for it?
Right, exactly. So you have those who support the Johnson deal are either faux Brexiteers who want the UK to leave, but in terms that bind it to the EU in perpetuity, or don't much care if it is thus bound, because they believe idiotically that the UK can be a little bit in and bound by the EU as well as being out and an independent sovereign nation. Such people didn't have a big problem with May's deal. Or the Johnson deal supporters are Brexiteers who have been so spooked by the Remainer coup against the people that they believe the choice that they face is between the Johnson deal or no Brexit. And in their emotional and panicky exhaustion, they are all too susceptible to the Johnson spin that he is such a supremely Brexity prime minister, he will die in the ditch to get Brexit done in a heroic stand against the Remainer parliament that is intent upon kicking the British people in the teeth, even if he has to go to jail. What a star. So clinging to the image of the super Brexity superhero who has charmed the hitherto Eurocrats into making concessions, and who has even got President Macron purring. Even the most Spartan Brexiteers seem unable to grasp that the Johnson deal is still a stinker. It would still trap the UK in a permanent state of vassalage, illegal commitments with no power to change them, which That's the whole point of Brexit.
So Britt Baza says, the problem is with Brexit, out of 650 MPs, only around 200 want to Brexit the EU or leave. But 64% of these MPs' constituencies want Brexit. So the parliament is going up against the people. This won't end good. Stuart the Brit says, if Theresa May likes Boris's deal, isn't that enough proof of how bad it is?
Yeah, so with this deal, Prime Minister Boris Johnson was told by the Parliament, and they voted on it. It was just like by amount of, I think, about maybe 15 or 20 votes that voted for this extension. He had to write a letter, but he didn't sign it.
Right.
He didn't sign it. He wrote the letter asking for yet another Brexit delay in accordance with the Parliament's Surrender Act.
But he didn't really write that letter. He wrote a second letter saying, listen.
Another saying he does not want one. There have been a great deal of speculations about how Boris Johnson would resolve his competing claims that he would not ask for another Brexit delay. Indeed, that he would rather be dead in a ditch. But that he would also obey the law in the form of the Surrender Act or the Ben Act, ordering him to do so if the MPs do not approve a deal-based or no-deal Brexit. In the end, the Prime Minister did send the letter, as mandated by the Act, but then he says, this was accompanied by a short explanatory letter from Sir Tim Barrow, Britain's permanent representative. It says that, as the United Kingdom permanent representative to the European Union, I invite you to attend the following manner. Attached is a letter sent as required by the terms of the European Union Act 2019. In terms of the next steps of parliamentary process, Her Majesty's government will introduce the necessary legislation next week in order to proceed with ratification of the withdrawal agreement. The Prime Minister's third letter outlines his position that an extension would not be in the interest of Great Britain or Union. So he says, it was good to see you again at the European Council this week, where we agreed the historic New Deal to permit the orderly withdrawal of the United Kingdom from the European Union on October 31st. I am deeply grateful to you, President Juncker, and to all my fellow European leaders for the statesmanship and statescraft which enabled us to achieve this historic milestone. I should also register my appreciation for Michael Barnier and his team for their imagination and diplomacy as we concluded the negotiations. When I spoke in Parliament this morning, I noted the corrosive impact of the long delay in delivering the mandate of the British people from the 2016 referendum. I made clear that, while I believe passionately that both the UK and the EU will benefit from our decision to withdraw and develop a new relationship, that relationship will be founded on our deep respect and affection for our shared culture. I can't even read this. This is just disgusting. Whatever. He says, and I don't want an extension.
Even though he pretty much said that the Parliament sent the letter asking for the extension. I disagree. Don't grant them the extension. To me, that is the most groveling, anti-Trump. I mean, it's all of this like, I love you. We're going to have this great relationship. It's kind of like, hang on, honey. We're supposed to break up.
Yeah.
And now I want to stay together with you in many areas. It's like getting a divorce but living in the same house. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's so groveling. It's so, I love you and I want us to have this relationship together and I'm looking forward to our working relationship together. It's like, okay, where are you as this like staunch, strong, whatever? He really just wants to tick the box of, I got Brexit done, I did this, I did it that fast, and yada, yada, yada.
So if you bring up the Nigel video that I had here, I wanted to just play this quickly here from the Ian Paisley. I was talking about the Northern Irish MP.
Greetings from Northern Ireland. Is there anyone else here from Ulster tonight? No? Yes, one or two. Great to see you. Hello, London. I can't hear you. Hello, London. It's great.
Come here, Ian.
Great to be with you tonight. It's great to be with the Brexit party tonight. I feel like I'm in a home from home. I believe that we're blood brothers and blood sisters. I believe we share a common passion, something that some people just don't quite get, and that is that we are a united people. The clue is in the word unity. United Kingdom. We are a single entity of people from England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. And we are together.
This is a rousing speech. You have to hang in that.
Great.
So I thank you for the invitation to be with you tonight and to stand in common cause for something that we each believe in, the Union. And whenever we say we want to leave the European Union, we're all leaving, and we're all leaving on the same terms.
Duh.
Can I take a special moment tonight and pay special tribute to your leader, Nigel? Can I take the opportunity and say those simple words that mean so much to someone? Thank you. Thank you for standing with us. Thank you for being so loyal to us. Thank you for demonstrating fidelity to our union and to the cause, and not so easily letting go when things become difficult, and keeping faith with the Ulster people. That goes a long way, and we say thank you, Nigel. This time last year, Boris Johnson visited Belfast, and in a speech to us, he rightly and correctly said that no British Prime Minister and no self-respecting unionist could put their hands to an agreement, like the withdrawal agreement, that would separate one part of the kingdom from the other. And he was absolutely right. Now, they say, ladies and gentlemen, that a week is a long time in politics. A year must be an eternity. Indeed, it could bring forward a new birth and a change of tune. But that year has seen a decisive change. Perhaps it's the allure of office. Perhaps it's something else. Perhaps it is the desperation, and as Tim said, the fatigue that we want to try and get a deal. But ladies and gentlemen, any deal isn't good enough. We need the right deal. We need a deal that we can believe in. And we need the deal that we voted for. And the sooner we get that, the better. So I ask, indeed I implore those who say to us, oh, just accept this deal. Just help us get over the line and get to the next phase. And believe you me, we want to get to the next phase of these negotiations as quickly as everyone else. But we cannot recklessly treat the union and leave a part of the union behind, or a part of the union left in a state of limbo, which is exactly what would happen to Northern Ireland. In the middle of the Queen's speech, when the Brexit deal was announced, we had made it clear throughout all of that period of time what we wanted. Now, which part of unionists do you not understand? It was fairly straightforward. Our demands were not outlandish. Our demands were not exorbitant. We were not blackmailing anyone. Our demands were straightforward, that we leave in the same terms as everyone else, that we have the same customs arrangements, that we have the same single market arrangements, the same VAT arrangements as our fellow British people and the rest of the United Kingdom, but that we, if there are to be any regulations that we want to have a say in or want to adopt, we do that with a democratic say in that process. Those conditions and those concessions have been thrown back in our teeth. And that is wrong, and that's why we so strongly and fervently object. Because what has been delivered to us will change part of the union. It will leave part of the union behind.
And that's really the combination.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And I don't know, honestly. Go ahead and play his little thing.
Is this the one you
want?
want?
Yeah, that one. Okay. I don't know where this leaves you guys, honestly. Tomorrow everything is changing every day by day, minute by minute.
Yeah, we were supposed to know something as of yesterday.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a big deal.
Yesterday was going to be the day.
I want a general election, so an extension for a few weeks into which we can have a general election is a much better outcome than signing up to a treaty that becomes part of international law that binds us in foreign policy and in many, many other areas. This is a rotten deal. If Boris Johnson had presented this 6 months ago to the House of Commons, the ERG, every man and woman, would have voted against it. I do understand, because of Brexit fatigue and anger in the country, the temptation to vote for it, but it is nothing more than Brexit in name only. It will not solve anything. This will not end things. In fact, in many ways, as far as Brussels are concerned, we've just finished the easy bit.
Wow. Okay, so do you want me to play any of these? I got Katie Hopkins, and I've got Nigel here. This was on Twitter.
Wasn't that one we just...
The company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand
new deal.
Did you play that one already?
Yeah, we played parts of it.
And then what about, what's this Katie Hopkins one?
It's just crazy. That's Catalonian, so I guess you don't really need to play anything.
This
you don't need to play any. Yeah, it's just...
What was this?
That was just showing London is a shopping experience. It's not the way it used to be. Here's someone... It's just like, I tweeted it out and I said... So is this London or is this an American city somewhere? And I said that Sadiq Khan, the leftist liberal, is running his city like the Democrats over here, and it seems to be going really well.
You don't get in between a girl and her hair.
Yeah,
like you just do not.
So that's the leftist policies will get you worldwide. So yeah, we actually got to wrap up the show because we have to get going, and. So that's why I was like, don't need.
Okay. All right. No, I just wanted to see. That's it. We're done.
No, I mean, like, it's a random story there. I mean, and my other story that we didn't get to was Swedes are putting their ID, their wallet, and their keys in your hand. Sweden moves to the future with microchipping.
Oh no!
Definitely freaks me out. I'm like, no. But we can cover that another day. Swedes are not being smart there. So democratic. And that's what you guys call it. Democratic movements across the world. Spain.
Populist movements.
Populist movements. I am on the guys, I'm not ashamed to say sometimes I don't know and I don't have the right angle. When it comes to Catalonian separatists, I'm not sure about the angle there. And I have not been sure about the angle there. You have the Vox leader saying they want a united Spain. I do know that when I look, from what I looked into the Catalonians, they are the rich upper class, who I believe just are snobs, kind of in a way.
But like, hang on though, because it can only go so far. If they are snobs, that's fine. But I'm going to be honest. In like California or New York, it is the snobs are not going to go rioting for their independence. Like they're not going to do it.
You have that socialism, communism mindset where that people just do riot and do that over in Europe a little bit more. Like they just they riot more because they don't have a constitution. They don't have a firm foundation, which goes, and I can always bring it back to you need a firm foundation of your government based on the gospel of Jesus Christ, which is what we are trying to hang on to, and what the socialists here want to turn us into this where you always need a revolution. You always need to protest something. You always need to try to overthrow your corrupt government, right? We have this imperfect but perfectible balance of government here in the United States, and we would want that for everybody around the world. But you're only going to get that with Christian principles, right? And in the UK, you guys, and Mom said this the other day, or maybe even last night. When it comes to Brexit kind of started it all. This democratic movement, the voice of the people, where the populists are rising up, saying, "Let's take back our government." And it goes back to the voices of Sir Edward Coke and William Blackstone and John Locke, who you go back to the laws of nature and nature's God. Laws of nature and nature's God do not entitle you to somebody else's property.
Right.
So the socialist principles
are directly contradictory.
To that. And you have a bastion of natural law that literally the birthplace is in England. Okay? The birthplace of Christian natural law, of good government, of fair government in the entire world is in Christian England. okay, with Christian principles, when men and women like William Wilberforce read the Bible and say the slave trade is wrong because God created each person individually.
Right.
And I would tell this to everybody in England, your atheist principles, your pagan principles, they do not create good, sound documents. Whether you believe in Jesus or not,
Right.
it is those principles of Jesus Christ, of Christianity, that create this law of nature and nature's God. The idea of life and liberty and property and due process, trial by jury, taxation with representation.
Yeah.
And all the things that come under our society. Our government, they read everything, and most of the great legal minds, they were too entrapped into the monarchy system and the House of Lords and the House of Parliament. You were too entrapped in your system to implement the vision that the great legal minds had.
Yeah.
And so starting from scratch, it was basically, it's kind of like you somebody gives you a recipe and you're trying to make a cake, and there's this weird kind of odd ingredient and just never tastes right, but the chefs are like, this is how you bake the best cake. But then you've got like a monarchy or the House of Lords that keep throwing in the one ingredient that mess it all up. So in America, that one ingredient, which was the monarchy and the systematic, you're born into a position, was taken away.
But John Locke was able to
work
get you
with
guys,
William and Mary, work with it. But I'm saying you're not going to have the perfection of the cake,
Right.
okay? Because you're constantly going to have somebody born into power. You can't have a representative government when somebody's born into any position.
Exactly.
Okay? So even if the House of Lords even have a say in anything, those are people born into a position. And so even with that, until you get rid of that, you're never going to have this true freedom in the foundation. So we were able to create it here. We, as in our founding fathers, with Christian principles, and I can say we because that's the same mindset. When you read the Bible, you can see how to make a good government that is fair for everybody. Okay? And so whether you're in Spain or you're in Hungary or you're in anywhere in Europe or you're anywhere in America, the idea that you take from one person and you give it to another person, that is wrong. The whole point of taxation is that as a collective body, we, it's like when we're traveling west and we have a caravan of...
You just need protection. Taxation is really just for protection.
We're traveling west and we have a caravan of settlers. Well, everybody has to put their wagons in a circle and fight. And that's the taxation if the Indians come and attack them. And if you're not going to be part of that, then you get kicked out.
Right.
Because if you don't do that. So what we've done is we say, well, we're going to hire sheriffs, and we're going to hire police officers, and we're going to hire, judges, and we're going to make sure that we have a system that makes it so that everybody is safe and protected, and then your goods are protected and things like that. But when you start to give austerity things, that's when things get crazy and people riot and they, anyways, so there's your history for blah, blah, blah. And so we got to shut myself off sometimes.
That's all right. No, we do need to go. Thank you, Kelly. She says, please find David Barton and his historical knowledge of gold and silver and Second Amendment and the Founding Fathers. That's an excellent, excellent resource there. And there was, Britt Boz says, with 1.5 million people in Northern Ireland and 5 million people in Scotland, the rest of the 63 million people of the UK will not be held to ransom by the Irish or the Scots.
Wait, go back up. Mom made a good comment right under that.
Mom's leaving a whole thread of comments.
Stand unified. Read that one.
Don't do this for yourselves. Do it, South African farmers. Do it for the Netherlands, Brazil, Hungary, Poland, Hong Kong, France, the Yellow Vests, Venezuela, people of China, America, and Canada. All men around the world unified in godly principles through Jesus Christ, which is the 10 Commandments, America's Bill of Rights, UK's common law. God wrote the same laws for freedom in every person on the face of the earth, and it is the same for everyone. Sovereign countries, sovereign individuals. God is sovereign over all men. No one is above the laws of God. Another English statesman who wrote the law, William Blackstone, a universal law, only gold and silver are money. Men will lose everything because they broke the law of God to pay a laborer in wages of gold and silver coins and yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
The People's Movement worldwide, executive order, don't lie to me.
Yeah, that's
and it goes on and on. So we don't have time for a song. We have puppies that have to be let out in 2 minutes, literally. Because I told somebody I'd push it as late as 3:15, but they had wanted it at 2 o'clock, but we had our show. So
Mars in October?
What's in October?
I don't know.
I have no idea. Let's go to Mars. All right, you guys. We love you. God loves you. God bless. Remember, I have something in my eye. It's not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. If you want to send us your letters to P.O. Box 107, Milford, Ohio 45150, we will read them on air. Thank you to all of our mods who are here today. Thank you, Patriot Gallery and everybody. Patriot Gallery is going to be doing streams later today. I don't know what time, but she tried to go last night and our software was messed up, and I was not available. So perhaps tomorrow. Come Thou Fount.
Yeah, Come Thou Fount.
Okay, but we do need to go, so you can't sing all the verses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's like 20 of them. We'll sing like 3. That's the song that came to my head.
Leah has the personality type, and I've defined her as such, as the person that thinks we can fit in the maximum amount of stuff in the shortest amount of time.
Come Thou Fount of
every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy praise. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount I'm fixed upon it, mount of thy redeeming love. Here I find my greatest treasure, hither by thy help I've come, and I hope by thy good pleasure safely to arrive at home. Jesus saw me when a stranger, wandering from the fold of God. He to rescue me from danger brought me with his precious blood. Oh, to grace how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let thy goodness like a fetter bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it. Prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, Lord, take and seal it. Seal it for thy courts above. That is my all-time favorite song. When I get married one day, that's the song. That's the song I want sung, Lord willing. All right. Thank you guys for being here.
We tip our hat to you. You never sent these
Yes, we tip our hats.
hats.
Thank you very much. You're very British, and I'm going to keep them with my Viking hat there. And every time I, cheerio and all that, and hip-hop raw, and, So, Patriot Gallery says 5 p.m. if able. So, all right, you guys. Again, to whoever sent them, thank you.
God
and
bless
we will
you
see
guys.
you back on
Have
Friday.
a great week of independence for everybody.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Worldwide. God bless.
I was cold.